Hi, this is Margaret Scott, the first female writer in Transformers comics, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Welcome to The Pull Bag. Join us as we dig out our latest comics and discuss them with a rotating panel of the GCRN crew. So sit back and enjoy this week's Pull Bag.
Oh my gosh, this is so great!
Call me Lord.
This is going to be juicy.
All hail Starscream!
Hello, bonjour, hola, and aloha to you good listeners, and welcome to the crossover review teams of the Underbase and the Geekcast Radio Network show, The Pull Bag, as we bring you the latest in the big box mashup who like to bash, brawl, and tussle about. I am your host, Nicole, aka Hailstorm, and with me I have a lovely group of people who enjoy a good fight. First off, we have the lady whose favorite dish is to serve is Soylent Green, but for some reason she keeps on forgetting the secret ingredient. Say hello to Amy, aka LadyWreck. How are you?
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
Please tell me you've seen Soylent Green.
I unfortunately have not, but I shall go and do the homework after this and figure that out. So I'm
sure you at least know what the secret ingredient is.
The secret ingredient is people.
Yeah, there you go. Spoiler alert on a 40-year-old show. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I already have the spoilers in my head, so there you go.
So wait, are you telling me she's really Jasmine from Angel?
Something like that.
Next we have the lady who likes to take us on long adventures, but only to find out she's looking for her childhood sled. So, hi Heather, how are you?
These are
I
awesome.
wish
Man.
I could do an Orson Welles voice so bad. We'll just have to be like,
just do.
Rosebud.
And finally, we have the man who spent weeks in Inception, and he knows the truth, but that won't stop him from searching for his ruby slippers. Say hello to TFGO and Mike.
I really hate that first movie you mentioned.
Inception?
I can't stand that damn movie.
I like it because Tom Hardy actually uses his voice instead of this made-up rap.
And the whole Orson Welles thing, the first thing I thought of was John Noble from Prime. What is this I sense? The taint of Primus?
Well,
Nicole, we need to hire you to do intros on everybody now.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy my intros, you know. They're the one thing that I could probably do right. I was just thinking about some old movies. I'm like, oh, this would be good. This would be good. So. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about classic movies, even though
we should be.
Oh yeah, I'll talk Citizen Kane and Soylent Green. So. But we're here to review Combiner Wars Part 5, the Windblade Edition. That sounds exclusive, doesn't it? The Windblade
It does,
Edition.
almost. Yeah.
Sounds like almost like a perfume.
Yeah, this is Windblade number 3 overall.
Yeah. So this is written by Margaret Scott, a story by Margaret Scott and John Barber, pencils by Marcelo Ferreira and Corin Howell. Corman is new to this issue, so that's good. He also does inks.
Yeah.
Oh, Corin's a girl? Oh, I'm sorry. Yep. Okay, so she also does inks, along with Brian Shearer and John Wyckoff. Colors by Yamishi. Is that how you say it? Yamishi?
I think so.
Yeah. Coordination phases by Thomas Deere. And, of course, letters by Tom B. Long, who we love, and editor John Barber. We also have special thanks here to Hasbro's Clint Chapman, Heather Hopkins, Jerry Jovin, Joshua Lamb, Ed Lane, Mark Weber, and Michael Kelly for their assistance in this issue. We start off here with Jingle, Jingle, Jingle.
Nicely done.
Sorry, that was just a little alarm to let me know that it's time to call it a night.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
So before we get to the covers, this whole background thing here on the very top above the authentic Transformers logo. Oh, God. All I can think of is how they did this, because it took me a while for my eyes to adjust to the hot pink mess that's behind the white lettering. All I can think of is Phineas and Ferb and Dr. Doofenshmirtz saying to the monkeys, "No, don't put the reds in with the whitewash, it'll turn into a whole pink mess."
That's gonna look better in the real print, though.
Yeah.
It looks horrible on the PDF. I had to zoom in almost all the way to be able to read who's on this issue.
Oh, really? I have a problem. But, but I'm cool
you don't have
like
my
that.
my crappy eyesight, so.
So yeah, we do have that on the top. We also have 3 covers here. We have our regular cover of Prowl, looking like, yeah, I'm in charge. You're going to do this if you like it or not. Artwork by Casey Collier. Casey Collier. Is that right? Collar. Yeah, I always want to put the I in there. I don't know why.
Me too.
Casey Collar. Colors by Joanna Lafuente. I love her name. I love saying her name for some reason. It rolls off the tongue. Okay, subscription cover, which is the second half to the one that was part 4, the formerly RID cover, has half of Prime, as well as Defensor and Superion in the background. Artwork by Livio Ramondelli. And then we also have a retail incentive cover, which is courtesy of Hasbro. I wish they'd stop doing that. This is someone's art. I want to know who it is.
I'm pretty sure that it's Sarah Peter Durocher's company that does it, and it's Marcelo. I hope I'm saying his last name. Matare's.
Matier, you mean?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Who I need to find him and be like, how do you say your last name? Because I've been messing it up for years now. I think he did the lines, and she or her company did the colors.
Okay, cool. Well, it's Optimus Maximus.
Which is a silly name.
Yeah. Which
hey,
and it's spoilers.
It's better than Nexus Maximus.
No, that is an awesome name. That is an awesome name.
Do not Google that, people. Oh, you know what? No, Google that. Have a good time with it. And you can take that literally and figure it out. So with that.
You don't know what we're talking about, folks. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Just let you
people
know
to Google things that are bad.
And I was going to say, Underbase does not endorse the
Does not
Googling of
endorse
that.
Googling, yeah.
But Amy does. Not true. Anyways, Mike, which cover would you prefer out of these 3 glorious works of art?
Livio's. First of all, initially when I saw the solicits for this issue, I hated all 3 covers when I first saw them, because number one, hardly if any of them have Windblade in them at all. Why have her name on the book if she can't be on the damn cover? Makes no sense. It just, I don't know. But now that I'm looking at him and looking back on it, Livio's art is what I like the best.
All right. What about you, Heather?
I actually hardcore love the Prowl one, or at least I did until I noticed the disco background. And then I was like, crap.
Casey turned Prowl into Austin Powers.
Oh,
no, wait. Casey turned Prowl into Dr. Evil.
Yes. Well, because I just, got finished reading more than meets the eye, I'm just picturing Prowl teleporting into the disco dance part with the Enigma and being like, let me show you how to party.
For some reason, I never pictured those words coming out of Prowl's mouth.
But honestly, though, I really love that cover. I think it's beautiful. There's been a lot of awesome covers lately, but I really like that one. It's beautiful, and it packs a good kind of like, oh crap, Prowl's got the thingy.
But the thingy, he knows how to use it.
Well,
be wary of his thingy.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
What about you, Amy? Are you going for his thingy?
gosh.
Again, people, I cannot be accountable for anything said after midnight.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to be mature about this, but damn.
You realize who you're talking to?
I know. Oh gosh, we only lasted 10 minutes before we started really going down the road. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Hasbro one seems like a major spoiler point to me. If you haven't read the issue, be like, what? Yeah. So I'm definitely not going to pick that one. I like the idea, the Levio one. Sadly, I'm not seeing the other side of it because I don't have that PDF with me. I'd like to see the whole thing, so I'm like, I'm only seeing half of it, which is still nice.
I'm sure he's got it posted on DeviantArt.
I'm sure it's probably somewhere, but I'm lazy, and I'm not going to go look it up right this second.
Well, the thing that tortures me about it is that it's a repeat of. I mean, they used like a zoomed-in version of that same piece of art for a previous cover, and I'm like, guys.
No.
Oh, okay. So here, does the other side have the other two combiners?
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. I like that. That's a pretty cool idea, but I'd want to see the whole thing rather than just half. But like, it'd be really cool if it was a wraparound on one issue. That would be awesome.
That's what I would have loved to have seen. So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the thingy one.
The thingy one. Amy's going with Prowl on his thingy.
Yes, I'm gonna go with Prowl and the Enigma of Combination, which is the most gimmicky I've ever heard in my life, but whatever.
I guess Prowl has the way with the girls because I'm going for that one too.
I cannot get my brain out of the gutter now, guys. This is a problem. Suddenly, the Enigma of Combination is just really filthy. Okay.
You used it for your protection, Heather. Look, he's even handing it to you. He's like, please take this, use it wisely.
Use protection, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is going downhill so bad.
It's gonna be going down. It's gonna be going down into the worst podcast ever to really drug it through. Through the.
I have nothing to do with this, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all the girls on the
Nothing.
podcast.
Uh-huh.
Well, that little pink peel is out, and I think we're all the test subjects now. Okay, anyways. Back to comics.
Yeah. Let's
we
get
have
back to the comics and apologize, people. We're usually much better about this.
I apologize.
No,
for
we're
nothing.
not. Don't lie.
So we kick off with our previously page that shows what happens. Previously, but says so in the title.
If you haven't listened to the other podcasts, the previously page.
So basically, it shows, Windblade and Wheeljack are trying to work on the space troop, trying to figure out what is going on with it. We also show big bots fighting each other again. That's the whole thing about this series, I'd say. And then Optimus Prime, pretty much, spoiler alert, says, well, Prowl combines with Optimus Prime, Mirage, Ironhide, and Sunstreaker. And that's
when does that ever work? I mean, if you look at everybody in that group, the only one that is sane is Optimus.
No. I don't even think he's sane most of the time.
It's like we're talking about every single one of the people on that list has gone nuts in one way or another. Except him. He's left because he just kind of went.
No, Prime has gone nuts before. Remember? Don't call me Prime. I'm Orion Pax. I'm not Prime.
That was him having a tantrum. That was not going nuts.
We could always go back to Transformers Generation 1 Season 3. The Quintessons made me a zombie now. Oh my god, it's a dark awakening.
Oh.
No, it's like, okay, we have Mirage, who's...
Everyone's sane, they just have issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ironhide dealt with his issues already.
Yeah, he's
went through a punching match. I want to know if Sunstreaker's in there. Is Bob too?
No, because
Bob's at the bar, remember?
they showed Bob escaping to make sure you knew.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Good,
Yeah.
because that would be really difficult to explain.
Although he totally should have folded down and become
He'd
the
be
gun.
the
That would
tail.
have been the sauce.
Oh, that'd be
He would
cool.
have been the tail, or the minicon that turns into a weapon.
That'd been awesome.
The only thing it does is it's purring when he pushes the, pulls the trigger. It just purrs.
It's like the singing sword.
Okay.
Okay, and then next we have our roll call page, which seems to really have grown since our last issue.
We have to go over this.
Especially the last line, because the last line is Glee.
Yeah. We've got Prowl.
As Prowl.
Says his own name. It's like
Alice
it's kind of like one of those this person starring as themselves kind of thing. Optimus Prime, former leader, Windblade city speaker, Starscream Cybertronian ruler, Rat Trap his lackey, Scoop X Autobot, Swindle
Rabble
the
Rouser.
Rabble Rouser.
I
That
love
won't
that.
last, sadly. Sunstreaker Autobot,
Sunstreaker
Mirage,
gets no good bio.
Visionary, Ironhide, the old veteran, thanks for noticing me.
And who has also been a visionary as well.
Yeah, true.
He gave up, though.
Chromia, Brash Warrior, Wheeljack, Conflicted Scientist. Now the last line is the Combiner line. Superion, Starscream's Combiner. Defensor, Starscream's Combiner. Menacer, Angry Combiner. Devastator, Very Angry Combiner.
That line made me glad that I actually read through the roll call, because that was fun.
When it comes to Margaret's books, I always have to read through the roll call just to see what they change or what they add to the description of the one or two word description for the characters. Because no offense to James and John, but sometimes their roll call pages are just the same pages every single issue.
But that's just in case like someone's new to the comic. I can see why they do it.
James used to do fun stuff back in season 1 of More Than Meets the Eye, where he just like every so often subtly changed.
Oh, before he like killed everyone off and tore their hearts
and
and
we'd be like
minds of
pouring
people.
over the little teeny bios, being like, "Does this mean anything? We don't know."
I would just like it if James one time would be like, "You put your favorite character there. Watch out."
Watch out.
Didn't he already do that in Dark Cybertron to you, though?
What?
On that one cover?
Oh, he could kill.
Oh man, that was the
One
best
cover where
reaction
Cyclonus
ever.
would be dead.
No,
That
don't
is
kill
one of
us,
my
Cyclonus.
treasured podcast memories, Nicole.
Oh.
Amy's like, you can't see that? You're not looking at that? And it takes half a second of silence, and Nicole's like, oh, hell no, he did not.
Yeah. So, anyways, did you all read number 4?
Yes.
41.
It's kind of required reading. You have to read
Yeah.
all of what's going on in the other ongoing to be able to read this. Because if not, a huge chunk is like gone. Well, yeah, like 3 or 4 issues of. Yeah, because there's been four issues in formerly known as Robots in Disguise.
We're all gonna do it for like the next year.
I know it's gonna be, terrifyingly hard to get through it. Going, oh, it used to be red. No, it's not red. Ah!
It's kind of like the frenzy.
It's more
Rumble.
confusing for us people who have already been watching and reading for the last 2 years. They're like, okay, now we can't call it red anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna bite my tongue every single time. You know how painful that's gonna be? I'll just send my bill to John.
So what did you think of it? Give me just a quick synopsis of your thoughts on it.
Oh,
Amy.
on the last? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Crazy. That's just what I'm going to say. I was really happy to see, Sunstreaker and Mirage and all of that stuff. I was really, I saw those. I was like, oh, look. There's like, oh, Bob, he's purring. Oh, I love Bob. I was like going, darn it. He's not on the Lost Light anymore. Gosh darn it. All the cool cats are on the Lost Light. I wanted Bob to be there too. Because it's Bob. Sorry, I have an obsession with little animals.
Oh, I don't blame you.
And he was such a good. Yeah, he's an Insecticon. What can I say? Now that he's back on Cybertron, I'd be like, is he afraid of Ironhide? Every single time he sees Ironhide, he runs away. No, I liked the issue, but to me, it's not complete till you read this issue.
Yeah.
And things just got crazy, especially since this starts pretty much where it's at. And I was like, oh no, don't tell me Optimus Prime willingly was okay combining with these guys, right?
No, he was totally not willing.
Yeah, but that's what happens, right?
Yep. What about you, Heather? What was your...
Last issue was where I stopped being interested in giant robots punching. So that was where I kind of fell off the wagon on Combiner Wars. But at the same time, I really, 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 really enjoyed the scene in the jail with Prime and Prowl. That was cool. That was really well staged and really, I felt it. That's how I judge everything. Did I feel it? I felt it. Okay, it was good.
Did you feel it in your cockles?
I felt it in my cockles.
Please let's not talk about cockles.
Cockles, not cocks, cockles. Two different things. I'll teach you about anatomy later.
Oh, I don't need a lesson on that. I'm surrounded by them. Jeez.
And what about you, Mike? What did you think of?
I liked it. I liked 41. I'll be the first to admit, and I've said this before on other shows we've done for the Underbase and on the pullback as well. After Dark Cybertron, I had a huge disconnect. I found the entire Trial of Megatron to be just basically a boring Law and Order rerun. I just found all of the Days of Deception stuff just so totally out there and just didn't care. When it came to Combiner Wars, and I've now gone back and I've gotten, what is it? 39's the opening salvo, right?
Right, I believe so.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten it, and I've caught up on RID as far as Combiner Wars goes, and I'm just going to call it RID. I don't care. It doesn't matter at this point. 41, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I kind of got shocked that Optimus would actually become a Combiner, but then I realized, oh, wait. We've had him do this before in Armada and Energon and Cybertron. Those three really, really... Well, one was an alright cartoon. The other two were crappy. But it's an interesting way that they're taking the direction and the whole Combiner thing. I enjoyed 41 for the most part.
Yeah, I could pretty much agree with all y'all. I really did like the prison scene. That was pretty cool. It
needed to happen. I mean, it kind of did because...
if IDW ever loses an artist, they could just hire Prowl. Looks like he's got some talent there, and apparently he enjoys pain, so he could work for either John or James. So, so he fit in just right. All right, well, we start off our issue here with Devastator confronting Prowl, who's on the inside of the Combiner Optimus Maximus. I'm sorry.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second? Because that was the thing, and I think it was 41 that this happened, where Starscream's giant plan is to replace Prowl to replace Prowlistator with Scoopistator, and everybody, all of us, were complaining about, what purposes is Scoop going to serve? They can't decide whether he's good, whether he's bad, whatever, back and forth. And I honestly like Scoop in charge or / the head of Devastator instead of Prowl, because it's something different. It's something we haven't seen before.
Well, when we saw Prowl, it was something they had never done before, too, so... It's just that new thing.
Back then it was fresh. Yeah. Back then it was really fresh and new and exciting. And now when I see Prowl, as the main driving force behind Devastator, I'm like, oh god, here we go.
That's just because he's been Prowl the whole time. Prowl as a combiner. It was like, at first we're like, oh, this is insane. Now it's like, oh, geez, Prowl, just shut up now. It's about dang time we put somebody else in charge. But I was like, Scoop. I was like, well, okay, why not? We put Prowl there. Why not put Scoop there?
Well, Optimus Maximus, I'm going to have a hard time saying that. That doesn't roll off the tongue to me. So
just call him Ohm.
the big OM here.
Definitely not in a peaceful place.
Yeah. So our big OM here. OMG? No.
Just might as well call him a bowel movement while you're at
it. He looks a bit shocked at the comments that Devastator takes. I mean, right in the gut, it looks like it's. And Devastator decides to take the opportunity and get a hit on him. This only leads to the other big boys bringing the fight on. Okay, so when you read these first 2 pages, what was your first thought about what was going on with Optimus Maximus?
Margaret, you missed a perfect opportunity to quote one of the best Transformers pieces of media in history.
And what was that?
He says, "You will be stopped, Devastator. She missed, you will be stopped, no matter the cost."
If she had done that, I would have rolled my eyes.
No, that would have been so awesome.
It depends on who was reading it. I think half the people in the fandom would have been like, yes, and the other half would be like, oh, jeez.
So what about you, Heather? What did you think was going on with Optimus Maximus here?
I actually pretty much, I think I got it on the first read through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming I'm right that he goes act because he's not unified yet, and so everybody inside is kind of wigging, and so that's kind of what I assumed, because the trigger line is, you think some Prime is better than me, and that would totally have flipped Prime's switch of what the crap am I doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just all freeze. So, yeah.
What about you, Amy? Did you have any different thoughts about this?
I thought that was my favorite part, actually, is the fact that, he says, he was like, okay, so Devastator's basically saying, so I'm not good enough for you, eh? Yeah, I'm not good enough for you. And, it's the fact that Prowl is now in a new combiner, and he realizes it's not the same anymore. The power's different. The shift is different. But, he's like, oh, no, that's not it. But that's what happened. I mean, I think he underestimated how Devastator would react to not have Prowl as the head anymore. And I liked that. I really, really kind of liked that as a consequence of that. It kind of, where Optimus Prime does not pause like that, Prowl does. Mm-hmm. He's like, but.
One thing I do like about, Prowl not being the head anymore, there's the panel that's on, was it page 8, where it shows Devastator, but they have the head blacked out. It's just this part's missing. This is not the part that's the same. I thought that was a good little piece of the art right there. Like, that's good working right there. So
I'm also glad that
these things just doesn't belong there.
I'm also kind of glad, though, that it also made Devastator pissed off, too. Rejection! He doesn't do well with rejection. So all he does is just turn around and just punch him in the face. In the face.
In the face, man.
Okay, what, Optimus... Transformers are just obsessed with faces, just saying. Give me your face, punch you in the face, just, yeah.
And then there's some people like World that doesn't care to have one. So.
Or Shockwave.
Yeah. Well, back on the ranch on Cybertron. It really is. Again, this whole series just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We have Windblade exclaiming what many of us is probably thinking about in this series. We have another combiner? Really? Okay. Well, her and Wheeljack face off again with Swindle and his Riot Patriots, believing they could bring peace through violence. Heard that somewhere before. Where was that? Oh, Megatron. Okay.
Peace through tyranny.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Swindle's face is just absolutely adorable. First of all, it doesn't last long, as he is fatally wounded by Starscream. Of course, this act only brings the writers to act against each other, while Windblade and Wheeljack try to get the space bridge open to Caminus so they could bring other combiners back. All right. So, Swindle.
Margaret, I thought you loved us, damn it. What the hell? How can you, like...
A moment of silence, please. A moment of silence.
Now, how many people here actually think he's dead?
Show of a raise of hands.
Not sure.
What? We can't see any hands because none of us believe it.
Well, it has Windblade. I'll just go on just a little bit further. So Windblade, she stands up to Starscream, who puts the end to the fight, but she puts the blame that all this is his fault because of his arrogance. And poor Swindle, he's comforted by Rat Trap as he pretty much lies dying on the floor. And Swindle tells Rat Trap the truth about the deal that he made with Starscream. And his lights kind of go out in that panel. So has Swindle met his fate in IDW?
I hope not, because Swindle, and we've already said, I said this previously, that he has enough personality to carry an issue on his own. I think it would be really foolish of them to completely knock him out and have him out of the picture indefinitely. So the other thing is that, okay, just because his eyes kind of, he could have just passed out and, it's Rat Trap. Rat Trap has been, playing things behind the scenes. It's slowly building in that direction. It has been for quite a bit. So, which is one of the reasons why I like Rat Trap, is because he's kind of a little slimy here. And then the fact that he, that he saved some sort of evidence of what's going on. He's going to play that when it's the right time, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, it's the idea that he could have just, taken Swindle and put him somewhere and, get him out of the way for a while he recovers. I don't know.
It'd be really repetitive if they did a Wheeljack with Swindle, where instead of Starscream, it's Rat Trap squirreling him away in a CR tank. Yeah. But that's kind of what it feels like to me. But I don't know.
I have two observations about the whole quote-unquote death of Swindle.
Mm.
Number one, Margaret is trying to basically do an Agent Coulson here. Which I am so not a fan of at all.
Wait, in all fairness...
hold on.
No, just listen. I'm just going to make a little joke here. In all fairness, Swindle will be the one person who would have Captain America cards.
Well, okay, yeah,
would have,
but here's the thing. Okay, this is the reason why I've never gone past episode 6 of season 1 of Agents of Shit. Is that because everything that happens in Avengers, and then Coulson dies, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. essentially craps all over that. I know it's comic book death, blah blah blah, whatever. So that's my first observation. My second observation is when Starscream says, "Don't tell me that wretch is still alive," the first thing I think of, there's an old Three Stooges short where they're, I think 2 of them are on the Confederate side and 1 of them is on the Union side. It's an old Civil War short that they did. And one of them faints. And one of the colonels says, "What are you doing? Take that jellyfish up and revive him."
Oh, God. Don't hurt yourself there, bud.
Yeah.
But I like that Rat Trap is showing concern.
For once.
I think Rat Trap's kind of worried for his own skin in this panel. It's just like, okay, he's done this to Swindle. I really need to start watching my own back there. So
yeah, especially since Swindle's only involvement was because of Starscream.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's just like, really, dude, you're gonna take him out? It's like, well, of course he's gonna take him out because he's got evidence. And I think that Starscream probably knows that in some way or another. I don't know. The whole point is that...
Oh, sorry, go.
The whole point is that I don't like the fact that Swindle is where he is. I mean, you'd think that he'd been smart enough to get out of that, but no, he keeps on doing the same damn thing over and over again.
Well, because it was his greed that led him here.
True, but like, what did Rat Trap promise him this time to get out of there?
Yeah.
That a new world to go to. Well, you know what? They already kind of have you on their, sights as being troublemakers. So, sure, open a Stargate. Open the space bridge. Why not? I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's the Stargate. Yeah. There you go.
Where's Richard Dean Anderson when you really need him?
I
love that man.
Damn it. Just okay. I Swindle being hurt. Okay. Dead, not so much.
So what are you going to say, Heather?
I don't know. Well, I'm still wondering about it. Hang on. I got my thoughts derailed.
Sorry.
The thing that no, that's fine. The thing that okay, I have two thoughts. One, it is actually the telling line is Swindle being like, I was dead the minute Starscream shoved me in that cell, because he's known, and that makes the second half of my thought is that he was trying to leave. And yes, I know that he can only go to Caminus at that point. I mean, he was, snatching at a chance of escape to save his own skin. But the thing is, they are kind of trapped. And they're
like
really,
rats?
Well, yeah. There's nowhere that he can run that he's not going to be found by Starscream. There's nowhere.
Yeah, there's no better mousetrap for Swindle.
So... I don't know, poor guy.
I don't want to see him go because I love Swindle.
I know. That's why I have my whole reaction of why, Margaret, why?
I did care way more about him dying than I did about Bumblebee, that's for sure.
Okay,
burn.
Let me ask you guys this.
You can smell how burnt that one is.
Has anyone actually missed B since his death? Really, seriously?
Megatron.
I mean,
Megatron misses him.
Oh.
It would be so awesome if Megatron never lets anybody in his room, but because he's got one of those body pillows with like Bumblebee on it.
Oh, Heather just went dark, man. Woo! You just went fangirl dark.
He just
wow.
needs somebody to snuggle.
But I mean, seriously, out of all the readers, out of everybody that reads the Transformers ongoings, does anybody really miss Bumblebee?
I'm sure Josh
because
does.
Okay, well, yeah, but Josh works on the books. I'm not saying the creators. I'm saying
honestly,
does anybody really miss Bumblebee? Because let's face it, Bumblebee in the first 2/3 of Rid, when it started, was a very political book because it was about the politics of leading and controlling Cybertron. And now they're kind of giving us, no pun intended here, they're kind of, they always talk about the 4 million year war, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of giving us part of this war, even though they say the other war already ended, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, they're now giving us a war. And does anybody really think Bumblebee would have a place in this entire story if he was still alive? Like, what would his motivations be in this grand scheme of things? He doesn't fit.
He'd be doing more what Prime's been doing lately.
That doesn't mean I can't miss him. Hello.
I didn't say you couldn't miss him. I asked if anybody actually does, because I honestly...
I do miss him.
I honestly forgot that Bumblebee was gone. It's like... It's kind of like one of those things, out of sight, out of mind.
I miss him and his shot cane.
We need more canes like that in this episode. I mean, issue.
Oh God, can you imagine if the cartoon Rid Bumblebee had a shot cane?
Oh, okay.
I'm just waiting for that to happen, actually. I'm sure Fix-It will figure something out.
That would be so awesome.
Oh, goodness.
I bet you somewhere in... They have like a cow taser somewhere in that pile of mess that they have.
I have to say, I love the internals and how they show each personality inside the Prime Combiner.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh yeah, we're not there yet.
Oh, I know,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, because that's the page I'm currently looking at. But yeah.
Okay, ADD.
Well, we were talking about Swindle's death, and I was on the page where Rat Trap said he was dead before he hit the ground. So the next page is
well.
Anyway,
we had here. I give you crap. There you go.
Is it a smelly one?
It could be. That costs extra. Okay. Oh man,
I've had my fair share of them. That's the reason why I said, is it just the sticky one, the stringy one, or is it the smelly one?
I don't know. Okay. The inside of the combiner's head. Let's just go with that.
Okay. Well, we head back to the combiner's site.
See. Yeah.
What was that? Oh, I thought you said
the part where he's like, I must see. It's like, okay, we're going to have a timeout for Optimus Prime and Combiner Group, okay? Everybody else is battling it out, and Optimus Prime is sitting with the dunce hat on again.
Yeah, the fact that he gets punched once and then nobody bothers him. I mean,
it's like...
That is actually a cool panel. You can tell that the others are very much engaged in the background.
He looks like he's in a yoga pose.
He's totally in it. He's in meditation pose. He's Rafiki from Lion King.
There you go. Well, we see that Optimus Maximus still is shut down as the bots have an inner dialogue with each other, and Prowl makes himself pretty much the boss. And we get to see how Prowl sees the world when he combines. This is really interesting because he just sees tons of figures and stats, and I'm thinking
it's like basically think of when we had the whole Ultra Magnus and the way
that
Ultra
Magnus
sees the world.
Proud.
Yeah, we see this is how Prowl sees the world. Statistics.
Well, Optimus confronts him by telling Prowl he doesn't care for the people; he only cares if he leads. I mean, that was pretty much shown with Devastator. So, and these next few pages, we get to watch this dialogue art, which is beautiful. And each bot has a specific color to them, especially their dialogue. But once they start thinking of it as a team, I love how the gradients come together. And this is a really good conversation. It's very wordy, but people just need to read it.
The good thing is it's not a bunch of talking heads. Like we see back and forth different things that illustrate what's going on. What I thought was funny, what I really liked about this is the fact that Prowl thought, hey, I got Optimus Prime in the perfect position. Now I can make him understand me. What he misunderstood was the power the rest of them had over him. And I really liked that. I really kind of liked that because I thought, okay, he really wants to drive home. This is how it is. And then Optimus with the other group, with Ironhide, Sunstreaker, and Mirage, they basically, he put himself in a vulnerable position to prove his point, only to have it trumped away from him. And I thought, yeah. That's how it's going to be, bro. But the good thing is, this could have never happened had they had this whole combining moment. So I thought, okay, I guess I'm all right with the whole, Optimus Maximus thing now.
Yeah, that did.
It sold me.
It wasn't like he just. Yeah, we aren't there yet, but it's not something that's permanent either. So it served a purpose that was more than just punching.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, let Mike go because I will go off for ages.
No, I think it's I think it's great that he didn't, like Amy said, he underestimated the power that they had over him, and this is one of those times where I wish a certain More Than Meets the Eye character was in this book because I can just imagine him in a little bubble on the upper right-hand corner, having a stop sign that says, "No flipping table zone here."
Are we talking about Swerve or...
Yep, Swerve.
Yay.
Well, And then we come to the part where
you gotta let me go off before you go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead. Go off.
Heather, would you like to go off on Prowl? Wait, sorry, that was bad. That goes back to the cover issue. I apologize.
Okay. I love this whole scene, and this is why. I've always had this fascination with the idea of, since they are robots, they can technically do things like this where they're literally in each other's headspace. They can like be plugged in specific ways, and that is fascinating to me. So I loved that. I loved the visual representation of it. It was very reminiscent of the More Than Meets the Eye 14 with Overlord and Chrome Dome, especially that first panel where you see Prowl making his pitch to Prime, and he's standing and he's strong, and Prime's just kind of kneeling there in the same pose that the Combiner is, really weak. And then slowly they change, and especially as the others kind of come in to support him, he becomes more sure, and till the point where he is now above Prowl in the frame. And
yeah,
so
I really cool. That was very brilliant how they did that. Yeah. I don't know if they intended really it. I'm sure they probably did.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. The other thing I just loved is I do this thing where I'm like, there's a true way to write Prime, and hardly anyone ever does it. This was the true way to write Prime. And like, I was reading this, and my poor husband was trying to take a nap because he's been not feeling so good today, and I'm trying to read it quietly, and I get to the part where Prime's like, you need to see people as people, not just, and you're so concerned with who leads our nation that you do not see who makes up our nation. That is where change comes from. And just all these, can you not see these people as we do? As people, can you not see the valiance in their actions? And, we're not speaking of numbers, but people. And I'm just like, that's Prime! And I'm like pounding things. I'm like, yeah! And anyway, sorry, I love it.
Well, we're getting to the part which I pretty much really come to enjoy. When Optimus Maximus is fully combined and fully comes to light, and you see that spark in his eye, literally.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. But it was sad because they'd all mutually kind of kicked out Prowl by that point. So I was surprised that they could still function. Because...
Well, I think that's the thing, is that he was trying to make them understand, but they basically turned the table on him and made him understand them, and so that's when he saw the difference. Well, whether or not he agrees to it, well, I mean, he might not still see the world that way, but it just means that he took a step back, and now he's letting them in control.
Yeah, I think it was a two-way street. I think they each learned from each other.
Because he says, I understand, I finally understand. So I think in a sense, like, it's just that moment when you put on those, when you put the glasses on, you suddenly can see, and you're like, oh, now I see. And so it's like, I just don't think that he's fighting them on it anymore. Because up until now, it was like, he was the loudest voice. Now he's not. So...
Okay.
Speaking of eyes, did anybody notice? Because I didn't notice this until now. Anybody notice in the panel where he says, "and you still refuse to see it"? Mm-hmm. Anybody notice that they drew a Megatron in one eye and a Spike and I'm like, wow, I can't believe they did that. That's awesome.
It's Spike and actually I think Prowlistator. Because that's not Megatron.
No,
that's
you're right. It's not Megatron.
Got the little wing things in the front. Yeah,
that's Prowl. Okay.
I think talking about I've seen the heart of Devastator and the duplicitousness of humans. So.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I think I love that. It's beautiful.
I like that where he says
the combined face of everybody too is interesting.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, this is the point that wasn't said, but it's like, and you still refuse to see it? It says, we must. Because if they see it any other way, then they will be just like Prowl. And they will be like, okay, you fail.
Yeah.
The thing is that, and they didn't say this because, of course, they're talking about robots, but as human beings, that's how it is. Like, we're all incredibly imperfect, and we all have our flaws, and we fail at things all the time. But when we're together with other people, we lift each other up, and, we help each other. We get back up on our feet, we keep moving. And we have to, because if not, we're just going to get stuck on the ground, and that's where we're going to stay. And some people do get stuck on the ground, and I hope that doesn't happen often. Yeah, when you're a part of a group, you just pick each other up, and you just keep moving forward.
Well, meanwhile, back at the ranch, aka Cybertron, Windblade and Wheeljack detect that Metroplex is sending out signals in all types of directions to the universe, and a space bridge is jumping to different locations, possibly to other colonies. So, yes, and which we'll come back to shortly. So, again,
they opened the door long enough to be able to have combiners come charging through.
They opened the door. They said, "Hey, party's over here." Woo, 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 woo. And so,
Prowl was right, though. Superion was with Prime.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he's right on that.
We have the barrage of combiners coming through the bridge. Devastator thinks they're taking on Prowl, only to have Optimus Maximum tell them they don't have to fight. But fighting is what Debbie does. Hello. So, to me, this is, I couldn't tell because of the watermark, but it looks like they're going through different portals. Is that what you're getting?
I was a little confused. I think I had to kind of really reread this, but what it looks like is that they're slowly all being pushed through into the Cybertron side.
Okay.
Either being pushed or, dragged, as in the case of, I think, Defensors dragging Menasor in. And then the Prime Combiner is slowly fighting back and forth with Devastator until he manages to push him through. But I'm not sure, because what is that? Okay, the panel where Devastator says it's what I do, and there's somewhere, because there's this really cool city in the background that looks like it's on wheels, and I am all over that so hard. Oh my gosh. But
yeah, I think what they're trying to get at.
But my other question is, were they? I don't think they were on Caminus. I think they went through to some other planet that had the weird Garnak thing and a bunch of other stuff. And so I think they were all on that planet, and they're trying to.
I think that's exactly what they're going for, because at the very end, which we're swiftly getting to, you see different worlds and how they've realized, hey, something new's happened. Yeah. I think that's exactly what they're... And the fact that Optimus Maximus goes through and lands on the ship.
Yeah.
And then gets up and goes back through the portal. They're going to different places, basically.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because it looks like they're playing Portal. So it's just like, oh, they're there. No, oh wait, they're over here. No, they're over here. So, okay.
It's the comical. It's kind of comical, but at the same time, fun, because they're throwing.
This would be one of those types
through the world.
This would be one of those types of moments that would be better in animation.
Yeah.
So you could just see the. I mean, the artwork is still really beautiful. The problem is for some reason my infant brain didn't pick up on it. So,
see, this whole portal jumping thing, I wish there were arrows everywhere pointing every which way, like when they were in not they as in this group, but when we were in Ultra Magnus's brain way back when in More Than Meets the Eye. There were all the arrows up on the ceiling and on the
that was
floor.
Metroplex. That was a Metroplex, and it was the Ladybots that had written it on there. Or no, wait, it was the Decepticons that had tried to do it.
The Minicons.
Yeah, they were trying to figure out how to get out, and
But you see my point, though, right?
Yeah,
we need the arrows.
It's supposed to be a little chaotic.
This
because
was
it's
far less confusing than last issue, though. Last issue, I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and went, dude, Livio, I have no idea what you're trying to show me, dude.
Well, eventually, blah 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 blah. Sorry, I don't know what I was
Tell
gonna
us
say.
how you really feel, Nicole. No, don't.
How much time you got? No, okay, well, as the fight continues through all these different portals, it's finally stopped on Caminus by Windblade and Chromia. Devastator is taken down and is separated into the Constructicons. Starscream, being the lovely guy he is, he's like, arrest him. Prowl too. Yeah.
I'd just like to see Starscream do the arresting. I was like, you know what? Turn to him and say, I'd like to see you try. You wouldn't do it on your own. You'd have to, have your peons do it. Sorry.
Because Starscream doesn't like to get his hands dirty. Because if he did get him dirty, he'd have to get a whole new body again. You know?
Yeah.
What other paint jobs can they give him? I mean, come on.
Are you serious?
Okay. No, I don't want you to go down.
Hasbro has built a whole industry on repainting Starscream.
I know, but okay.
In
first
animated,
of all,
he had clothes.
Yeah, but that was cool. Here, don't get me wrong. I liked Starscream in the beginning of the book formerly known as Red. When they got the Armada colors, I was like, that's the choice they made. Armada, really?
I like
Come
Armada.
on.
I like it because his sword's in his wing. Like it.
And they finally put him back in the G1 body, and I like that, but it's like, oh god, how many different bodies? That's the last.
Okay, Starscream, we're putting down a challenge.
I wish, yeah, I wish at this point somehow in the near future of the story they make him Ghost Starscream. That would be. Can you imagine how much? Can you imagine how much fun he would have in this? Imagine his character in this series. How much fun he could have as Ghost Starscream hopping into different bots' bodies.
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Awesome. All right, I'm signing Mike's petition.
All right, so here's the $2 million question. If he's not in charge, who else would be?
Cybertron.
Not Spindle. Out.
Well,
and not Spindle.
Way too soon. Come on now. Way too soon for that kind of joking around. Well, at the end of this, we find out there's some United World, whatever the hell, robot version of the United Nations. No, I'm not saying Rat Trap.
Rat Trap's not the good choice either.
No.
I wouldn't mind him being like somebody counseled or whatever.
I don't
Optimus
know.
Prime would be in charge.
At this point, that's kind of where it looks like it's going. I mean, Optimus took charge of the Combiner thing, and I don't know. All I'm saying is I think it would be a really cool idea, even if they do like a little one, like if they bring the spotlights back and do one-shots, or do like what they did with the Drift miniseries Empire of Stone. I've never read that, but I'm just saying, like, I want Starscream to be a ghost, and I want him to have his own adventures as a ghost at some point within this continuity. Because I think it'd be fun.
Go Starscream.
Mike has spoken.
And his adventures with Casper. So many young
Starscream, the friendly
He's the
ghost.
reason why Bumblebee and Shockwave come back. He shows up the lights.
Oh, nice. Starscream possessing Bumblebee's body, that's like the ultimate fangirl fanfic.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the ultimate.
Sorry, I brought it up.
No. Nicole started this now. Starscream coming back in Bumblebee's body. That's the ultimate middle finger to Megatron.
Oh, awesome. Well, this is the part that I kind of had like a little pull at my heartstrings. Superion actually agrees for the loss of Combiner. Did you guys pick up on that, or was it just me?
I totally, and I felt it. But I wasn't sure if he was... I'm not exactly sure what specifically he's grieving about. Because he says Prowl is Optimus Maximus. and then Defensor says no Prowl equals non-function.
Wait, did we already talk about how Devastator got pulled apart?
No, we didn't, and we need to talk about that.
Yeah, because that would come before that. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I did mention.
So, I guess I did not hear that part. My bad.
We could go back to it. I can edit it, splice it.
Yeah.
Because that was some horrific stuff.
Yep.
So they all the combiners get back to Cybertron, and then they all gang up on Devastator, and they pull him apart.
Yeah,
yep.
And
they're no longer Devastator. They're the Constructicons.
I was really surprised at how okay the Constructicons were in the next panel, because the way it's drawn and shown, it looks like it would just be psychologically. Okay, forgive the fact that this is the word that I need to use here. It would be psychologically devastating to be pulled apart, because it's a discombination that is involuntary, and so
it's a forced discombination.
It would be like the part. Okay, so remember one of the episodes in Doctor Who where he thinks he's human and he has to die, and he's like, I don't want to die. That's got to be what it feels like, because Devastator is dying right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the Constructicons are magically okay, but Devastator is no longer going to be there.
And we find that Scoop is gone green and purple. That didn't happen to Prowl.
Yeah, because Prowl is Prowl. Well, Starscream painted him. Starscream got out the brush.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Because he made some comment about, I can't do a Starscream voice, but it needs to be done here. Something about orange has never really been your color.
Yeah.
And now, once again, all as I can think of is Starscream from Prime at one point, and I actually have the clip, I'll have to grab it and put it in here somewhere, where he essentially imitates Hannibal Smith from the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together.
And of course, all I can think of, and everyone's going to kill me, is, in regards to Starscream telling Scoop that he should change his color, is Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
I was thinking, he is such a fashionista. Oh my gosh. When he becomes Ghost Starscream, he makes everyone start getting makeovers.
Everybody needs to get new bodies.
And when he comes back, they give him his own show.
There you go. And you get a makeover, and you get a new makeover, and you get a new makeover.
Oh my gosh.
Ghost Starscream, the next judge on Project Runway.
No, because I'll get makeovers because you can't give them cars because most of them are already cars.
Yeah.
True. So you gotta get makeovers.
I think it's interesting, though, that he puts in this thing right here where he says, okay, arrest the Constructicons. And then he says they clearly can't be brought under control yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, he's not done with these guys. He's still not done with these guys.
So, remind me, because I don't remember. I'm too old. Who out of the original 5 or 6 Constructicons is not with them anymore? Is it Scrapper?
Scrapper's the only one.
Yeah.
Okay. So is he dead, or because
I would say at this point that's definably dead.
He's been dead for
like
a few years.
Oh boy, like Pipe's dead. Great.
This is not as dramatic,
This memory brought to you by.
Hey, if we're gonna talk about memories of who's dead, lengthwise, come on, man.
I know, dude.
That's still my favorite.
My son still, today, he threw that out as a joke just to watch me go, oh,
Lengthways.
Okay, so we asked the question of who could lead Cybertron. Who in the who in the comics could actually be the center of Devastator, the head of Devastator, instead of Scoop? I mean, what character could be controllable enough for Starscream at the same time still have that devastation that Devastator needs to do?
I wouldn't say that he's taken Scoop out of the plan at this point. Mm-hmm. I think he fully intends to keep Scoop right there. I would honestly like to see Prowl continue with it. If they could take Devastator away from Starscream, put him in charge, put Prowl back there, because he at least has enough power to somewhat keep it a little bit under control when he's in control. And Prowl isn't always in control. And the Constructicons dig him, yes. If they can get over their hurt pride that he was with Optimus. Yeah, but I think if they can take all of the combiners away from Starscream and put Prowl back in with the Constructicons, because I think I really like where he is with that. Scoop just doesn't seem like big enough personality to be able to take them on and to do what he needs to do to keep, Devastator under control.
Yeah, it's a big letdown after Prowl. I was actually super happy to see that Scoop was totally incapable of controlling Devastator, because if he had been able to, I would have been ticked off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I trust the writing. We'll probably have all these answers within the next year. So.
Possibility, yeah, very possible.
So I want to go back to talking about this grief that Superion feels.
Oh, wait. We haven't talked about... I'm sorry. What would happen next would be the fact that Optimus Maximus basically untransforms and uncombines to give up Prowl.
Yeah.
Because Starscream says, I know he's in there. Release him to me because he's in trouble. Yeah. We've got to put him on trial now.
I like how...
Oh, please, do not tell me after Combiner Wars they're going to have a trial of Prowl.
No, I don't think
No, that's not going to happen. With the whole... I think the one thing I really like about this is Prime is saying he will not resist, and he knows that because now he's been fully in Prowl's mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though Prowl, he's done a lot of wrongdoings, he knows what justice is, and he knows he has to serve it. So,
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
I just think out of all of the combiners, though, they were the only ones that just kind of just like, okay, we surrender, and they all just decombine, decompress. They decompress. Okay, yeah, we're releasing him to your custody.
It's actually, it must be for the loss of the combiner entity, the combiner personality.
I would say so.
The emphasis on Prowl threw me. But and I, he's probably also sad because it's like someone being like, "Here, I will give you my arm."
I kind of took it like this: that Superion grieves. It was more like, okay, so all of the other combiners stay together except Optimus Maximus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to they almost kind of lose a little bit in that because they're still combined, and it's like a brother that they don't have now. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of looked at it as like Superion grieves because now, well, if Prowl is Prowl is part of Optimus Maximus and they can't ever combine again because he's in trouble and he's locked up, then basically Optimus Maximus will never be a combiner again. And that would make him feel grief that he's not going to be back. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's
because
what I took out of it.
Liked the Optimus Maximus.
Oh yeah, of course.
He'd been after Prime for a while to be and talking with Prime about being a combiner and about not wanting Starscream to he didn't trust Starscream, and so I'm sure that for a while he was like, yeah, man, we got a Prime combiner now, glitches. he didn't talk that way, and so he's just like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, now we go back to Caminus, back to the other farm. The next morning where, things have calmed down, and Mistress...
They have a lot of Solus Prime statuary.
Yes. I think they like her. So, where they have a Council of Worlds that Windblade has asked for. And in this, one of the things that happened in this council, which was quite interesting, is Rat Trap. Rat Trap is now the representative for Cybertron.
Yeah, because Starscream can't be, slumming it with the riffraff. He's got a planet to run,
Mm-hmm. So, and then we also have
And
Devastator.
it also goes to show that
yeah.
Starscream still trusts Rat Trap, because I can absolutely say, whoever he's going to put the representative as Cybertron is definitely going to be somebody that he's going to think that he can control, because it's Starscream and he wants control of everything.
I doubt he trusts Rat Trap, but he does think he has control over him.
Yeah, or that they share the same interests.
See, and then we come to this next panel, and I got a question about this next panel. It says Devastator and Minosaur were imprisoned. Was it Devastator, or was it the Combaticons? Don't want to do that. Constructicons. Because it wasn't Devastator. It was the Super Vehicles, right?
Well, I would say that as long as the Constructicons are imprisoned, Devastator is imprisoned.
Yeah. Okay. And then it also has a little scary thing here. It says, which means all combiners remain in Starscream's grasp. Oh, yeah. Starscream, again, he wields so much power.
He's got the two that went crazy.
He's got the touch.
Imprisoned. And then Superion and Defensor, who are not necessarily, like, they didn't do anything bad, they're still there to, like, if he, tells them, hey, go protect us something, they'll do it because he's Starscream. So, yeah, he's basically got combined of all of them. I mean, essentially, he has control of all of them. Now, whether or not Optimus Prime steps in and, tells Defensor and Superion, don't listen to him, you never know.
Yeah. And then we get a nice little panel here of Prime and Prowl together. A nice little ender, I guess you could say, ending to the story. Ender game. Anyways, and then
that's not what I was thinking of, but okay. Go ahead.
Well, and then we have Windblade confessing to the mistress that she really doesn't know what to do. I mean, she's lost, and I don't blame her. So that actually ends our Act 2. We do have an Act 3 coming up. But do you guys want to say anything before we get into Act 3 here?
It was nice to see the Mistress with the Flame again.
Yeah.
She's got her big hammer. And
she still looks like such a wench, man. She needs a massage. She needs to relax a little. All right. Well, if we're done with that, let's talk about what made me smile and giddy and freak out a little bit here. So we go to our Act 3 where we see another world, and we have a name here, Knockout.
Yeah, Knockout's
I was glad Margaret got him because she needs to keep him. I know everybody loves Knockout, but Margaret needs
Well, we've seen Knockout in another panel elsewhere, but now we know exactly where he is, and he had speaking lines.
Yep, and so we see him and Override, and I'm not sure who the third one is. They didn't give her a name.
No,
so.
there's only two of them. But they're saying they have to go tell Override. So Override.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's everybody going and we got to tell our leader. So Override, not Overlord. Very different people. Override.
So basically, we have a Knockout. We don't see Override, and Knockout has a buddy with him. Yeah. Or is it a female? It looks female-ish.
She's got her headlights gleaming.
Yeah.
Oh no! Thanks, Nicole. I hadn't noticed that before.
And then we find out that Margaret found out some way to reverse the Vox curse on Tigerhawk, because we see Tigatron and Air Razor as well. It's like,
but his name's not
wait
Tigatron.
A second,
it's Tigatron.
Whatever.
Oh, is it a typo or where?
Yeah, it says, "Are you glitching, Tigatron?" There's no R in there.
No, there's.
Read it.
Well,
it is Tigatron.
Either way.
But I was happy about that too, because I know Margaret loves Air Razor, so I'm like, yay! It's just always fun to watch people get to do things that they love.
Yeah. So far we have had Velocitron and Eucharis, is that how you say it? Eucharis?
Eucharis, I guess.
And then we also
I
have
totally looked that up to see if it was anything, and it wasn't. I mean, well, if you Google Eucharis, you get a lot of weird porn stars, but it
Nice.
sounds like it means something in Greek, and it,
I thought it sounds like a star or something, or a moon maybe. You know.
U is good, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
We also have distant space, so we have a spaceship, and we have
With
a
a city on the bottom of
It
it.
was the
Yes.
spaceship that Optimus Maximus got knocked onto.
I was wondering about that because they look different, but it's similar enough that I'm gonna hope it is, because hang on, I'm looking back and forth.
Yeah, I'm looking back and forth now too.
I'm also
Yeah,
seeing
it does.
No, the front is totally different, unless that's the back,
Back.
and the
It could
other
be
one.
the back.
Yeah.
That could be it. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell because they're two different art styles. Because we had two different artists on this, it really would have been really amazing if they had been able to make that work a little better. Because that's what I took it as, is it's the same ship that got knocked onto. So,
Yep.
and the reason why I say that is because, well, the next page when they find out that okay, so basically when they go to each of these worlds, they're like, okay, they're saying, oh, it wasn't seismic activity. They're investigating what came through there, which I'm guessing was the space bridge and the interruption of like them showing up, hitting each other, getting knocked down, getting back up, and running back through the bridge again.
Well,
Because they're so focused on each other that they don't,
on our last page here, we have a certain lovely lady looking all Mr. Burns-like in her chair made of parts of other people.
Which was
It's
really,
really
creepy.
creepy.
Yes,
I lost my mind. I
lost my mind twice.
I
What?
upped my ear to pound the table. Yes.
Yeah. So well, if you guys haven't read it yet, it is Alita 1, and she's not looking like her pleasant self. She looks like she has a plan, and I'm loving it. Because one thing about her artwork, she's missing one of her antennae, ears, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Your geisha hairstyle.
She's been damaged.
Yeah. And
But
she's
seriously,
also.
that throne is creepy.
I know,
It's
and
like
she's,
the Game of Thrones throne.
It's the Game of Thrones Overlord Megatron throne.
and
it's
she's
made out
also
of
talking
what
to
parts?
Obsidian.
Yeah, so see, she's totally Strika.
Nice.
And she has like a weird, creepy Overlord Prime helmet thing on the top of it.
Yeah. That's
Which
the part where
messes
the more you look at
with
the
my
background,
mind.
the more disturbing it is.
Yeah, it's like stir together Tarn Overlord and Prime, and you get that, and then you have all these weird, creepy hands and faces.
I love all the
faces
fingers.
nailed into the floor.
It's
I
like
love-
she's like the little sister of the DJD.
Yeah.
Ah, that'd
And
be
I really, dang it, come on, Margaret, don't do this to me. Don't be like, here, look, we gave you Alita 1, and then we fragged her over like.
That's
no
what I want,
tomorrow.
because Alita 1 wasn't one of those characters that I totally adored. I'm just like, so here she is. She's going to be a bad girl. I'm all for it.
You
But
guys remember
here's,
when
dang it, Nicole. It goes back to the RC thing. There cannot be only one way to quote unquote fix a broken female character's early 1980s appearance. You can't have only one option to make them crazy.
you guys remember when we got Star Saber? You remember how psyched Dave was that we got Star Saber? And then you found out what James did to him, right?
Oh,
He made him the zealot of the religious zealot that just wanted to kill the world, right? I can just hear the echoes of him going, nah!
No,
Well,
I'm
fine then.
This is exactly what this is. This is, oh, look, we gave you Alita, but she's not Alita that you think she is. It's just like, oh, great.
maybe this is just a tease. Maybe she's just coming up with a plan.
This is her evil twin sister. We find out that the real Alita is like locked in the back room.
Maybe, she's thinking, but this is just her resting bitch face, Who knows?
I'd be okay with her having gone a little crazy after being alone for a long time, because that's what Alita is.
And that's what happened to RC, Yeah,
but I don't want her to be evil psycho person, word that I don't say in polite conversation.
Well, that's what happens when Optimus Prime...
Psycho bitch.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when Optimus Prime breaks up with you and leaves you to die.
Yeah, but nothing says that even is going on in this film.
I know.
The only thing that happened was that Prime bounced on her ship for 5 seconds, and I was like, "Gleed!"
Is it just me, or does Obsidian look like a certain Transformers Prime character?
Like
we don't see him though; he's off screen.
I think isn't that him?
No,
right
he's off to the side there.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got the long arms like a shockwave, not shockwave, soundwave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, either way, the top of her throne looks like she killed Transformers Prime Soundwave.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I love this last page. I think it's beautiful.
It's just got enough wrong with it to make you go,
guys, it's Jetstorm! It's Jetstorm!
Are you serious? It does look like them.
I totally thought, okay, I'm gonna
call
out.
Just have legs.
Okay, I'm gonna call out the colorist there, but because that needs to be separated from the throne. But yes, that is a person, and it's totally Jetstorm with like the pink head from Beast Machine's crap. Who wore that thrust.
Oh my gosh, I need to go back to watch.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome! I'm gonna pound the table again. Heck yeah, man!
Between Prowl, Pizzazz, and now Heather, we've got nothing but a table flipping, table pounding session going on here.
Nothing wrong with that. It feels good to do it.
Now we just gotta start breaking things and I'll be happy.
I'm totally gonna go Google Obsidian from Beast Machines now.
Obsidian?
Jetstorm. Okay. I'm like, dang it, I need to go back and watch that.
Because I love Jetstorm.
Yeah, Jetstorm was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seriously, this is like really cross-pollination in a really... Okay, that is Obsidian then, because he totally looks like that. He doesn't... He's got kind of that no legs, weird Jetstorm body, but with creepy tentacles for fingers, because yay!
Mm-hmm.
And little hover shoulders.
This is going to be so much fun. I'm excited. This last 2 pages, I should say, really upped my ratings for this issue. Yep. And speaking of ratings, let's go for it. Mike, final thoughts and ratings.
We should probably talk about the art, too.
Oh, yeah, we really need to talk about it.
I apologize. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the art. I'm still going off of... I've been up for way too long. Okay, Mike, tell us, what do you think about art?
I love the art. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see different people on this book other than Sarah Stone or Livio. It's going to be an interesting direction where they take the series after this. But, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, I liked the whole white light being able to show multiple personalities inside the Combiner, the Optimus Maximus. And the funny thing is, if the only way you're not going to know this is if you've been living under a rock for the last 3 months, this whole issue with the whole thing of them arguing and talking in the Combiner's mind is, I'm like, hey, it's Disney Pixar's Inside Out, except it's with Transformers.
Nice.
And Prowl would so be anger.
Prowl has the voice of Louis Black.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
can't take it anymore.
I know. Overall, I love the art. I think the art's great. I love the writing. I've always loved Margaret as a writer on the original Windblade series, and now this. I just can't. I just can't get past her killing Swindle. Like, I can get her past killing some character I don't care about, but come on, this is Swindle, damn it.
Yeah, we've really grown to like that character. The fact that he's, like, potentially out of the picture now, like, no! You can't do that. It would be a bad idea to do that.
And
Just
Derek
because I
J.
said
Wyatt
so.
weeps.
Huh?
Derek J. Wyatt weeps.
The whole rest of us do, too. Come on, he was the Fonz.
Hey! That's still one of my favorite panels of all IDW Transformers. Hey!
Yeah. You don't kill the Fonz, okay? The Fonz just leaves, okay?
At least Swindle didn't literally jump over a shark.
No,
That would have been awesome.
Shark
He could have jumped over Skybite. That would have been amazing. Well, okay. Headcanon. After the panel in which Waspinator and Skybite are sharing a microphone and passionately delivering some sort of karaoke. After that, Swindle gets up and jumps over Skybite. Either that or just rides him for a while.
Nice.
Headcanon.
Awesome. What about you, Amy? Art?
I'm gonna be the moaner here. Okay, I have nothing against any of the artists. I think they all do fine. I think Corin is the one that did the ones that, the last page with Alita.
I don't think so.
You don't think that she did that?
Yeah. I think Corin did the scenes with, and this is what I'm basing it off.
Okay.
Corin, I don't know her style as well, but the other guy who did it was the Angry Birds guy.
Marcelo Ferreira?
Yes.
Ah, gotcha.
And so whenever it gets slightly flatter and more cartoony, I'm thinking that's him. So those last few pages after they go to Caminus, I'm pretty darn sure are his. And also there's some middle pages with the firefight and when Swindle dies and all that stuff that I think are his as well.
Okay, so the point that I'm getting at then is the fact that we can't tell, but there's absolutely a shift between the two. I'm not okay with that. Up until now, the inconsistency is what I'm really just kind of blasting right now. I like the styles, but I want the whole issue as one or the other, but not both in one issue.
It's kind of like
it's
basically
frustrating.
but think of it as Dark Cybertron. And you had no. I'm on your side here, Amy, but I'm gonna say, think of it as Dark Cybertron when you had Livio doing the Negative Zone, and you had, let's say, for example, I don't remember off the top of my head, but let's say Alex was doing the regular Cybertron. It's like, I don't mind if someone is doing like past and present or past and future or whatever else, but you're right. What they should have done in the creative team credit page, instead of saying, hey, this person, and this person is all responsible for pencils, every other comic I've seen does this. List the name, pages 1 to whatever is what they did. List the name, pages 20 to whatever is what they did. That's what they should have done, so we know where to look for the art change.
Well, it's pretty apparent which changes are the art.
Right.
The point that I'm getting at is the fact that, okay, this is supposed to be, and I know I bring it up every single time they have an event. They have an event, and they just throw every artist they can at it. Now, that being said, they waited to the last issue on this one to do that. I'm all right with the fact that, Livio's done most of it. If you actually look at how many issues he's done out of the whole event of Combiner Wars, which includes all of the formerly Transformers, formerly Rid, the Transformers and the Windblade issues. Who did the most? Livio did. So why didn't he just do the whole damn thing? You wait to the last issue to throw every artist you can that isn't already doing something else, is my guess. You put all of them on the last issue, and it just, you put this in a trade, and it's like, okay, I don't understand why they didn't just put Levio in to do all of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he did most of it, but then you're going to get these little outshoots of stuff. So it's just a term of logistics for me. I'm moaning about that. I don't like that. I think the inconsistency just doesn't work in that regard. I'm going to be a little bit down on the issue because of that, because I just don't like the fact that they wait to the last issue and threw everybody at it. I mean, it didn't even have... It'd be one thing if we just, like, we took all of the artists that, like, you know, we got Sarah, we got Levio, and, you know, maybe one other person, and they threw it all in one. They didn't even put Sarah on this. It's all new people that I haven't even... None of them have actually worked on the main ongoings before, and now my computer is froze, so I can't go all the way up and look at their names. Gosh darn it. Okay,
Which names do you need?
Okay, so Corin has never worked on anything Transformers before.
Mm-hmm.
Marcelo has worked on some, but not any of the main ongoings, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Brian Shearer has been the inker in a couple of places, and so has John Wyckoff.
They've been inkers for a long time.
Yamashi has never colored anything on Transformers, and Thomas Deere has only done the previous stuff that Margaret has worked on, which
he's been in for a while though. He's done some other things.
But he's done odd things, so he gets it. But like, you know, he's just been the colorist. It's not like he's done the pencils and stuff like that. The point that I'm getting at is they're new people. There's new people, and if it's an event, wouldn't you? I just have a problem with it. I know logistics aside, sometimes you just get what you get, but I'm not really happy with that. I'm just being the moaner here about that.
Hey, everyone has the right to their opinion, man.
That being said,
that's the great thing about art. Everyone has their different views about it. So,
that being said, I don't know which ones is Corin's, and I don't know which one is Marcelo. So I'm probably going to have to basically go to one of the artists and say, well, which pages did you do? Because I don't have that information right now. So I kind of am digging the more cartoony ones, but there are a few places where the proportions are a little weird and wonky and very stylized, and maybe a little pushing the edge just a little bit too much, but it works for the most part. And then the one style that has all the combiners like battling it out kind of reminded me of my brain is not thinking of the guy's name right now. Ugh, and I know somebody would like on the other side kick me. The guy that did Regeneration, the first half of it, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew Wildman.
Yes. Sorry, I could not think of the last name. My brain is like, you know, on overkill right now. Mush.
Okay,
yes,
he lives across the ocean. He can't kill you.
Yes, but there'll be somebody out there who's like, how could you forget his name? Sorry, I didn't forget it. My brain is not working. It did not compute. Okay, so I liked both for different reasons, for different things. I just wish that I had a whole issue of their stuff instead of just half a couple pages here and I have a couple pages there. I'm not resolving this very well. I'm sorry.
That's what editing's for, right?
No. What I'm trying to resolve in my brain is the fact that we've got two different artists on one issue, and I'm like, I can't get past it. I'm being prowl right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, I will ease your pain here a little bit, and we'll talk about this later after we finish our final thoughts.
Okay.
Looking at solicits 4, 5, and 6 of Windblade is all Corin Howell on art.
Okay.
So this is the only issue that they are doing the multiple artist thing at this point.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
there's
but
that at least.
By then it won't be Combiner Wars anymore.
Combiner Wars, yeah, true. Yeah,
it's supposed to be an event. They named it and titled it as such. We're getting toys out of it because of it. The last time that happened was Dark Cybertron, so that's why I'm like, hey, I'm going to be a little bitter about this. Kind of twist the knife in and say, no consistency.
I don't think any of us understood that, but okay.
I understand, Amy.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of explicits you don't want to know.
It's me saying the F word a bazillion times, right?
So what about you, Heather? Art?
That's a present.
Sorry.
I'm actually like almost opposite from Amy. I thought the two styles blended quite well. It wasn't until like my third read through that I really noticed when they change. You know, some of it is just that it's the PDF that makes you kind of everything, you know, especially on my poor little laptop screen where everything is kind of bleh. But so I thought that the two styles went together okay. I mean, there are lots, basically any other artists that if they paired them together, the difference would be a lot more obvious. I really enjoy, I'm gonna say that this is Corin's stuff just because of the way the other stuff really resembles Angry Birds. I really enjoy her style, which is interesting because sometimes it's similar to Attilio Rojo's and I hate him. But the thing that makes her style fun is there's a lot of other styles thrown in that are fun to find without it becoming a mishmash. For instance, starting at the top, the bottom of page 1 where Devastator crunches the Prime Combiner in the face, that is so Pyro from Wrecker's Nick Roach. And then you go down to the next page and you see Devastator's Grr face, and that is straight up G2 Yaniger. And it's just really fun, and I enjoy her stuff. It's got just enough. It's got a little bit of Livio's squareness. It's got a little bit of that grit. It's got a lot of crap. I can never remember his name, and so I wrote it down so that I could remember. What is his name? Oh, Agustin Padilla. It's got a little bit of his blacks, and kind of just really harshness. Not to say that in a mean way, but yeah. And so her art interests me a lot. It's fun to dig into. I enjoy that.
And it still feels pretty raw. That's the other thing. It feels like there's a rawness to it that's like, I mean, granted, I'm not saying I don't like the artist. I just don't like how it was composed. It's probably on the logistics side of, you know, who they put on it and why.
I have come to just accept that in an event there's going to be several artists because no one artist can do that much work and survive.
Except Alex Milne.
Well, no, because this is twice a month.
That's true. Twice a month.
No one can do that. No one. Not even Livio. I don't think it's fair to ask. And so I just, as long as an event holds together story-wise and general look-wise, I'm fine. But yeah, so that's.
But I can still see the difference between Corin and Marcelo. Like,
yes, once
they work most of the time, but
they are different.
Yeah, they are very different.
Yeah. I need to give mad props to the colorist. And I'm still trying to kind of figure out exactly how these colors were done, because it says, what was it? Colors by Yamaishi and coordination by phases. Okay. Colors by Yamaishi and Thomas Deere. Okay, that makes sense because there were a few pages where I was like, that's totally Thomas Deere. I can always tell when he's coloring. And so that's why I was like, really? But yes. Anyway, I really enjoyed some of the intense hues in the shadows that Yamaishi does. Starting back on page 1, there's an amazing sort of teal on the side of the Prime Combiner's head that I love. And there's like a really intense ultramarine and purple in Devastators, sort of purpley bits. They're just, I love these colors. They're fun. They're juicy. Okay, yeah, I'm thinking Thomas Deere colored the Marcellos and Yamaishi colored Corins.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the styles match. Okay. There's a couple of art storytelling niggles. The firefight just looks like a rave, and everybody's pointing their laser pointers. Nobody's shooting at anybody.
It's a rave.
Even when they get everybody surrounded, the ones without guns, the speech bubbles are pointing at them. I'm actually wondering if that's even it's not a typo, but a mess up, because I think that I'm not sure if the guys holding their hands up in the oh crap pose should be saying fire. I think maybe the guys with guns should be saying fire.
You said oh crap, and all I can think of is friggin' Drew from Office Space. I'm gonna show her my O face. Oh.
But yeah, I think that was all I wanted to call out.
I like the fact it's just that it's like a rave. It was like a boom, boom, boom.
Between the disco lights behind Prowl on the cover that I loved and the shooting everywhere rave, you start having the drums. Right? I really love that splash page of Devastator getting pulled apart. That's really good stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see more from Corin. I'm really, really enjoying her work. So and Yamaishi too. I'd sign up for him any day. But yeah. So I had thoughts. There they were.
What about you, Nicole?
Overall, I enjoyed it. There's some hiccups, like I said. The big bot fights, sometimes they get lost between each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think the part that I just absolutely enjoyed was when they're in their dialogue, Optimus, Maximus, their dialogue, and their pastel pages when they're talking with each other. I think that's gorgeous.
That did really work. Yeah, I agree.
I really enjoyed looking at those pages.
It was not hard to realize when they were switching between. Like, you could tell when it was they were in their heads, and then they were coming out and talking about what was going on outside of that. And Prowl was trying to make his point with things. That really, really worked. And then they had the rainbow colored text box.
I know. I'm thinking that must have been Tom, because I loved it. And when they're all starting to think together and they have that gradient changing the colors, I think that's so cool. I loved it.
Friendship is magic.
Yeah, overall, I enjoy the artwork.
Don't hate me, people. You know you were thinking it. Friendship is magic.
It is magic. But I really can't say any more than what you guys have. I just enjoyed it. So, Mike has some solicits here for us. So
wait,
we should rate. We should do final thoughts and ratings on issue 3 first.
You want to do final thoughts? Okay. So
ratings.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Mike. What's your final thoughts and rating?
I'm sorry. I liked most of this issue, but I'm sorry, Mayor Grid. You get 2 points taken off the top for killing Swindle, so I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, wow. Harsh.
Yep. 3 out of 5.
Ouch.
What about you, Amy?
Okay, I can't even put my words together. I'm like, Okay, so I've slightly improved my opinion on it based off of some of the stuff that Heather said, because you're right. The artist there is some really good stuff to gush about. And if we had a little bit more time, if I had a little bit more time to sit here and psychoanalyze every little panel and do that, I would totally do that. And I would. The point is, I don't dislike the artist. I think they did a fine job. I think they did a great job. There's a few things I just can't get past. And so the other thing I almost hate to put it in there because I like the idea that they put him in there, but I just want to put this caveat in there. Story-wise, going forward, I don't want them to take stuff from other continuities and throw it in here. I don't want to feel like we're getting a recap of, the Japanese movie, the Japanese animations, and Beast Wars and Beast Machines. I don't want to see or stuff that's coming from Exiles and Exodus. I don't want to see all of the continuities come together into one. I know that's what the Prime continuity and the animation stuff is doing. Great. IDW is its own thing, and I just want to say that I don't want them to do that, and I kind of felt very vibey that that's what was kind of being pulled in here at the very end. Now, that's not necessarily bad, but it's not all what I want. So I'm like, I know there are people out there like, oh, I wanted to have my favorite character in here forever. And they happen to be Beast Wars hunters, on the Beast Wars thing. And I'm like going, I know, but I just don't want to feel like I'm getting a smash of all continuities in IDW, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying, but as long as people take source material and do creative things with it, I don't mind. If it becomes like you're saying, just a complete rehash, then yeah, we can flip tables together, and I will completely be on your.
And maybe I feel that way because I haven't. Was there a series that did the whole Velocitron thing?
Yes.
Okay. And then I read Exiles, and they started doing the Velocitron thing here. And what I'm getting at is the fact that I read the whole Velocitron thing. Now I'm glad that we got knocked out, but. And maybe I would have been completely different if it had been a completely different name. But the fact that I read Velocitron, I went, okay, I've read that a little bit too much. I've seen it in three. Well, I've heard of it in one continuity. I've read it in another. This one didn't do it first. So now I'm kind of going like, oh, we're rehashing the same stuff all over again. I'm not liking that vibe. And so that just kind of made my red flags go up everywhere. Like, oh, no, I can't like this anymore. Ah! And I was like, no, I don't want to flip my land. I don't want to flip my land. I don't want to flip tables. I'm really just want to, I'll sit down and be in my happy place, take a couple deep breaths in and out, and then review it with everybody. And my opinion has improved a little bit, but I'm just saying caveat here that I was worried about that, and I'm not sure yet if I'm okay yet, if I've resolved anything yet. So.
Do you need to go see Rung? Do you need to get? Do
I need to see Rung? Yes, I do. I need to talk to Rung badly.
So I'm sorry, I talked over your.
Jot over on the Lost Light and get a psychoanalysis from Mr. Rung. He needs to get in my head and fix things. Okay, I think I've said enough.
Okay, so what was your rating? Sorry, I talked over you there.
It's okay. I just went whirl there. Yeah, that's enough. Okay, so final rating. I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
The way that you were talking, I thought it was going to be a lot lower than that.
I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Because my opinion has improved, and I still don't want to see Swindle dead, so it's a 3.5.
All right. What about you, Heather?
I'm giving it a 3. I still think we need to remember that 3 means better than more than half the comics out there. It's not an insult to give something a 3.
True. That's very true. Because I gave ongoing several times, like the first ongoing, a 2. So
yeah,
this is much better than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still thinking about what you said about pulling things from the past, Amy, because it is an interesting thought. But
I don't want to. I like having original stuff. I love what's going on in More Than Meets the Eye right now. I love what's going on. I mean, for the most part, I was fine going back to Earth and seeing, Spike get some payback a little bit. I loved what they were doing. I love the effect that it had on Prowl. I like these things, the stuff that's never been written before. But when they start throwing stuff in that make me feel like, oh crap, now they're starting to pull stuff in here that's already been done before. I don't want that. I don't want that.
I totally see what you're saying, and yet on the other hand, I don't think it's fair to say, okay guys, write a Transformers comic book, but you can't have anything Transformers in it. Do you know what I'm saying?
But they have. They've done all new stuff, and it's been Transformers.
And it's been awesome. I just think it's really tricky when we start saying it's okay to go back to Earth, but not to throw a Velocitron on. That is a random thing that you happen to have come across.
Yeah, no, and if it would have been anybody else other than me, I mean, because any comic can be somebody's first.
Yeah.
So somebody else out there probably, running across this review that has no idea that other stuff has been done. And they're look at this and say, oh, but I've never seen anything about Velocitron before. Yeah. So I'm going to be okay with it, and that's fine. But it's a tightrope to walk, and it's hard to write for the people that are new and the people that are old that have read everything. And I'm sad to say that I'm at that point now where I'm like, hey, I've read a whole lot of stuff about Transformers. I've been doing this for 5 years. Oh my gosh. I'm one of those hardcore G1ers. Oh my gosh, when did this happen?
But I think almost the way John and James, I can't classify Marigrid yet, but definitely John and James. They each fill very separate niches. James is the go do crazy crap guy, and John is the take old stuff and repurpose it and make it awesome guy. And so Margaret is like, yay, Beast Wars.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's just who they are, and I actually almost get the sense that it is a choice that John makes to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be the guy who's very, very rooted in continuity to free up James to do crazy crap. And in a way, that's a sacrifice that he makes. I don't know. I hope that I get a chance to ask him about some of this, because I really am curious. But that is a very selfless thing to do. He does a lot of selfless stuff, being willing to take on the burden from Hasbro to do these things, to sell toys, to be the guy who's like, all right, I'm going to play the continuity puzzle game. And I get the sense that he enjoys doing that. And I'm glad that he does. But that is the role that he fulfills. And there are a lot of people for whom that is important. And so I cannot whinge about it too much when the things that they bring in happen to not be my favorite stuff. Because sometimes the things that they bring in are my favorite stuff. Thank you for bringing in Alita. I've been asking for it for years. I love you people.
Well, to go off of what you were just saying, I think the reason why they're bringing in so many different continuities, because that was someone's starting point. Not everyone was a G1er. Someone started with Cybertron. Someone started with Armadas. So they're going to pick up these comics and realize, oh, this looks familiar. I can relate to this. This brings me back to my day when, So I think that's a good thing, because as much as selfish as we are, we all want to see that little part of us inside the story, and even if it's just that
very
memory.
True. That's very true. That's true. So I don't know. Just like I said, I'm going to be that caveat, that person that's out there that's like, and that's who I'm representing, I guess, is the person that's like, wait a minute, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that. That's true. I mean, hey, there are some of us out there that read it the first time and say, okay, I didn't like it the first time when I read it. And then I read it 3 more times after that and went, oh, okay, I like it now. How many of us have done that? And I've only technically this is the second time I've gone through this comic, so
I do that for almost all of Not Read. I'll read it the first time and be like, and then I'll read it again and go, okay, that was actually a lot better.
Yeah.
That's what I need to call it, Not Read. That makes it so much easier.
So, Heather, what's your final rating?
Oh, 3. Sorry.
3. Okay. Sounds great. I'm going to go with Heather on this. There's, like I said, there's a little bit of confusing parts. I had to read it 3 times to finally be like, oh, this is making sense. The first time I read this, I was really confused. I was just like, especially the whole jumping through the portals thing. Did not notice that the first time. I'm like, I'm confused. What's going on? But overall,
it took until me getting to the end of the comic the first time around to go, oh, that's what was going on, was they were jumping between portals. Oh, okay, gotcha. Then I went back and looked at it and went, it's really hard to tell. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I moved on.
but overall, I still had fun time reading it. I love that last page. Those, well, the last two, because knockout, hello, booyah. But,
it's hard to get to the end of this and see that last page and not just go, oh, I want to keep reading. What's going on?
But honestly, I think this issue, I didn't feel like a final resolution, a final ending to this page. It's just like, I know there's one issue left, and I kind of need that issue. I need to know what's going to happen now that Optimus Maximus, what's going to happen with these 5 bots now that they've been together in this, it's really an odd form to communicate with each other. I mean, what's going to happen? I need some resolution. That's why I'm having a hard time with this issue. But I know I'm going to get it eventually. So it's 3 for me. So
I hope this last page is like a testament to what Margaret is going to do. She's going to be twisted because she can't be twisted in, Robots in Disguise right now. It's more of a kid's show. It kind of can't go dark like Prime. So if she's going to go dark, she's going to do it here.
Oh, absolutely.
Crap, I'm afraid Margaret can really... just because she sneaks it in. Like, James is overt with it. He's like, here, look, lengthwise. Whereas Margaret is just like, tiny panel of horrible crap happening to Grimlock that I'm not over yet. And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in almost the second week, or coming up on the second week of June. So I'm not exactly sure, folks, what's going to happen, because this issue comes out June 10th, issue number 3.
Yep.
When I was going through getting the information for the solicitations for Windblade, it says in there, it lists issue number 4, Combiner War Epilogue, as coming out in June. So I honestly have no clue, but...
We could be getting 2 in June. I mean, if it's at the,
could be.
That's the epilogue.
Yeah. So here are the solicits for, I'm just going to say it, June, July, and August. Transformers Windblade number 4, Combiner Wars Epilogue, Margaret on writing, Corin Howell on art, Priscilla Tramontano on covers or colors or whatever. More worlds, more problems. After the events of Combiner Wars, Windblade and Starscream race to recruit the lost Cybertronian colonies to the Council of Worlds. But which of them will control the fate of Cybertron? The Combiner Wars are over, but the fallout has just begun. A new universe opens to the Transformers. All-new Cybertronian Empire to follow, featuring the art debut of new Transformers superstar Corin Howell. Combiner Hunters, special one-shot. Okay, Combiner Hunters. For the first time, a one-shot adventure featuring 3 fan-favorite female Transformers. Revealed within Hasbro's fan-built Combiner as voted on by Transformers fans around the world.
More Combiners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that'll be...
Victorian.
Yeah, thank you. I always second guess myself with her name because I'm like, that can't possibly be your name.
This is the first time I'm hearing anything about this.
I always picture
Victorian
Victoria.
is an all-female combiner.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to read the issue.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So that's
There were a little bit of crickets right there. Crick, crick, crick.
Yeah, that's
I'll have to read
June. Yeah, that's June. In July, Windblade has become its own ongoing at this point, because the way the solicits go, Transformers Windblade number 5, Margaret on writing, Corin on art, Priscilla on colors. Race Against the Light on Velocitron. Racing isn't a sport; it's a matter of life and death.
And I expect that Knockout will be a big proponent of that.
Windblade and Blur put the pedal to the metal to save Cybertron and their own lives. It also says Space Race, Blur and Windblade together to decide the fate of Cybertron. Cybertron's new Interstellar Alliance. And then in August... Oh, I see what they're doing. Remember that last page we just talked about where it had Velocitron, Eucharis, and Deep Space?
Yeah, distant space, yeah.
The next 2 issues are basically set on each of those planets.
Yeah.
So issue 5 was set on Velocitron. Issue 6 is going to be the Beast War on Eucharis. The colonists are more than just robots in disguise. They are whole new breeds of Transformers. But while Windblade and Starscream struggle to gain allies on this brave new world, an ancient power seeks to force them off the planet. Says, another colony found, but will they be friends or foes? Fan favorite characters make the comic book universe debut, and there's going to be a variant cover by Agnes Garbowska. So those are the solicits for the next few months for Windblade.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
I'm just excited to have more Mayor Grid writing. Write it all, Mayor Grid. Write it all.
Absolutely.
So the next ongoing, is it going to be called Windblade then?
That's what I assume.
I think there's
I
something
think
with the name because the name drew in so many new readers. I mean, remember when
Gotcha.
she debuted, everybody was like, "A girl Transformer!" And a lot of people started with that series. And I think that's why they're at this. I mean, in any other case, we wouldn't want an ongoing with one person's name on the cover. But I think her name has enough pull that they're going to keep it.
And if you look at the ongoings as of right now and going into the future of Windblade, you have Transformers, which is Cybertron and Earth. You have More Than Meets the Eye, which is the space opera. Now you have Windblade, which is unifying this new interstellar alliance among the other planets. So the Windblade series, as far as I can tell, isn't solely going to be on Cybertron. So it isn't taking anything away from what John is writing on the main Transformers ongoing, formerly known as RID. So the way I look at it is, this is just going to be something completely new, it's just adding to the continuity that we've already gotten. And it's more Margaret writing. I mean, that's nothing but good.
Okay,
If
so
it
the only...
becomes a planet a month, that's going to get old quickly. But
Yeah.
for the first little while, I'm totally down with a planet a month.
I mean, I think just based on the 2 planets we've already seen, Velocitron and Eucharis, I think they're each their own setting, so you kind of need... That's one thing with a lot of comics, when there are too many settings for me that I kind of get lost in them. It's like, oh, hey, we're going to go here, 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 and here, and here. It's like, oh, no, just stick to one set, one story, and go from there. But I don't think it's going to be a planet a month. I think that's just the way they're setting it up for 4 and 5, so because they mentioned that at the end of 3.
It makes
Yeah,
sense
I
because
agree.
they've already put it in the end of Combiner Wars anyhow, so you've been introduced to those 3 places. If it were that easy for them to find the whole whatever colonies of people that are out there, I don't want to see all of the colonies get brought in that easy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense. Okay, 3 sounds fine to do right there. I hope that they mix it up and do different ones, you know? And... yeah, I'm sure we're going to find maybe 1 or 2 colonies that have not survived. That would be okay too, because hey, it can't all be, you know,
So you
perfectly
just go onto
wonderful.
the planet and everyone's dead?
You know, maybe they pulled a Borg. You know, there's a big hole there. They've just been gone for so long. I don't know. The only reason why I'm going to bring this up is because I'm hearing echoes of previous podcasters that I've podcasted with that they've said this. And they're like, is there any one character that should be allowed to stand all above the rest and have their own ongoing like that? So I'm like, I sense that maybe eventually they might change it from Windblade ongoing to something else, like they did with, you know, not Rid. Because eventually, you know, that's going to wear off being, you know, Windblade.
Well,
and all that.
maybe they'll just use it as a title then.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, because I like Windblade, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I'd call it Windblade ongoing, because it doesn't make sense. I would think of Windblade would be about Windblade herself, but I don't think that I would want it to go on forever as an ongoing. It would make sense for a little while, but eventually Windblade is going to be not the center of the universe on that. There are going to be other characters that I'm going to that are going to come back into it. Yeah.
And Margaret or John or anybody at IDW, as far as I can tell to this point, has not said whether this is a mini-series or not.
Yeah.
Because every place I've looked for listings for the upcoming sales of this comic series, like if you go to comiclist.com, sometimes they'll have it like, well, I'll take a book out. I'll take a page out of IDW. They had that Galaxy Quest 4-issue miniseries. It listed it as 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3. This does not list like that. This lists as it's going to be its own ongoing with the Windblade name. I don't think she's above any other character. I think it's like Nicole said and like Heather said, it's name recognition at this point because the fans voted on her as the fan character, and that's Margaret's character. If they were going to take, and I hope they never do this, but if they were going, like if Margaret was going to go do something else, I could see them changing the name then. But as long as she's doing the writing on the series, I don't think it should change.
Yeah, because it has such draw and is such recognizability. It's like trying to name it New Coke. It's not going to work.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that marketing ploy.
Or Pepsi Max or whatever else, Yeah.
We'll see how they do it. I mean, like I said, I think if they call it Transformers Windblade, wouldn't it be just solely about Windblade?
But see, that's the thing. We don't know because we look at it. I mean, we're currently in Combiner Wars. Yeah. Combiner Wars is almost over, and maybe what it's going... Because the solicits I just read, it has Windblade and Blur, Windblade and Starscream. So it is going to be about her. It's going to be about her adventure to these other planets to figure out if they're going to join this new interstellar alliance. So I don't think it's going to be like... Let's face it, and I'll say this, and I'm not afraid to say this. I enjoy Combiner Wars for the fact that it's combiners, but with Margaret's series specifically, it essentially puts Windblade in the complete background. So I am so not enjoying it for that, but what I am enjoying is what's going to be coming up with her back in the spotlight.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see how they go. Because, they have yet to really kind of announce, hey, it's an official ongoing and we're calling it this.
Yeah. Well, I did just have a thought, though. If they had needed the name recognition of Bumblebee, they totally could have called Rid Transformers Bumblebee. They totally could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Windblade could work the same exact way, where she is a central character, but of course there's other stuff going on.
Yes, but she's not going to pull a Bumblebee and die, okay?
I think
I don't think, you never know.
I don't think lose it.
I don't think Margaret would kill her. I mean, Margaret kills a lot of things. I don't think she'll kill Windblade.
I'm like, dude, I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past her, but I don't think she needs to kill Windblade. If she
Just
ever
aggravate
needed to, she would do it.
If we don't allow Margaret Hulk out, we're okay. As long as we don't anger her, we're all right.
I like that.
Oh, man. Holy cow. We are so lucky. We have so many awesome people that create comics for us. And then we sit and we read them and we pick them apart and we whinge. Yeah. But gosh dang it, people. Thank you for making these things.
Yes, absolutely. We sit here and talk about this on a podcast, but we do love it.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk about your stuff on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is a crossover with my show, The Pullbag, I'll bring this up. This is completely non-Transformers related. If anyone would like to see Corin Howell's style before Windblade number 4, check out DC Comics Batmite number 1 that just came out this year. She has pencils and inks along with Andreas Ponce on Batmite number 1. So she's also working on that over at DC. So if anyone wants to check out her style when it comes to superhero characters, you can check out Batmite number 1 from DC Comics.
Awesome.
Cool.
Hey, did we also mention... kick me if I just glossed over everything that you just said, Mike. We did mention the one-shot Combiner Hunters,
Yes.
right? Okay, just want to make sure. That's the next thing, and then of course the copy, the aftermath. So
Yeah.
Can I bring up, actually, because I just read it and it was interesting, the interview that Sabretron just did with Corin Howell?
No.
Sure.
Not for the Underbase.
I put a note for it into Skype. So if you wanted to put it, who's doing the show notes? Are you doing it, Nicole? But if you guys wanted to put that into the show notes, I think that would be good.
Put it in the show notes.
It's clear up at the beginning of today's Skype conversation.
Cool.
But it was totally worth a read, and it was really fun to kind of get some...
I have nothing against Cybertron, but I have everything against Cybertron. I'm sorry.
I don't even know enough about that website to even have an opinion. Because
let's not go there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
It was a good interview, no matter who did it.
True. Vaal is really awesome. I like him.
Yes, that's who did it.
I would be fine just saying Vaal. He did an interview. Go find it. It's out there.
Okay.
All right.
You have a closing, Nicole?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just want to thank everyone who participated in the penalty box for Hailstorm in the last month.
Oh, that's
yeah, that's right.
We had some really good things, and apparently people didn't follow the rules. Shame on you. So...
And I did see that a couple of us got on the hot seat as well. They're saying, well, why does that be all Nicole? It was everybody else too, and I was like, yeah, that's true.
You angered.
Sorry.
People angered the bear. No,
believe me, my son gets me back every day.
We had one really good one where I apologize. I'm not sure who suggested this. I'll put it in the show notes though. They suggested that I donate Windblade toy to Toys R Us or Toys.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's a good one. I have a Windblade that's not opened. I will be more than happy to donate it. So
awesome.
Yeah, so there was a lot of good suggestions. I did do a few of them. I honestly can't remember what I did because it's really late, and but I just want to thank everyone who participated in that. And hey, you know what? We've got one more issue, so if you guys want to go ahead and do it for one more month, why not? So hashtag on Twitter, penalty box for Hailstorm, and my punishment. Again, it has to be PG-13 because it has to be legal. I can't spend a fortune. It has to be safe for my wallet, and it can't take up a bunch of time. So
why don't you tell us about the one that you said you wouldn't talk about before?
I'm just talking about it on air. You already know about it. No,
that one was pretty painful. Just saying.
That was painful. That hurt.
And Alex, what you did.
Oh yeah, he made me talk to him all about it, and yeah, it will not ever be mentioned because it was hurtful and it
was painful.
Agonizing.
And what
the fact that you had to report back to him, that's the worst.
I had to report back to him. Yes. So it was painful.
We love you, Alex.
Alex
don't hurt us, please.
Oh, he already hurt me. But game on, So thanks to everyone.
So wait. Are you telling me you're sitting on a throne right now?
No. Why would I?
Okay. Anyway.
Where are my dragons? Dang it!
All right. Well, that's it for Team Angel this month. So join us next time as we bring together our combiner abilities. Aloha, Avidase, and Sayonara. And remember, only you can bring about your own happy endings in life. Unless you're stuck in a room with a dead body and your only option is to cut off your own leg. Good luck with that. Bye-bye. You see, I turned it around. That's another ending to a movie. So...
Make your great escape into comics? I don't know how to follow that up now.
I love when a plan comes together.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. you can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you are leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.